It's like the first time you put chicken nuggets in the microwave, you follow the directions exactly.
Yes.
And then, but by the time you're in your 50s, these really only take about 2 minutes and 30 seconds.
Yeah, you do it all willy-nilly,
and
you're good to go.
I think we can agree that all wine tastes the same, and if you spend more than $5 on wine, you are very stupid.
Welcome to Irritable Dad Syndrome, home of the $1 Million Guarantee. Now, here are your hosts, Mike and Darin.
Hi, I'm Darin.
I am Mike.
Welcome to Irritable Dad Syndrome, Cincinnati's comedy podcast. This is episode 261.
Bruh. We have got a show for you.
Oh, shut up.
Are
you kidding me?
In this past week, old Mikey had a couple of days off. And what did he did with them days off?
What did he do?
He went to Cleveland, land of the Cleves.
America's heartland.
To see the final U.S. show of AC/DC.
Yeah.
Unless they tour again.
Yeah,
Later in the week, he went to go see Jonathan Stewart at the Taft Theater. So I'll talk about those.
Okay, fantastic.
Items.
And I'm going to talk about a concert that I went to. My son is in a band called Dream Flood.
Okay.
And he had his first, and I'm not making fun of the band, but I'm using quote marks. He had his first, quote, gig, unquote.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
How you doing?
I'm all right. We have one of those dinners tonight where, when you run out of the good dinners, and like all that's left is I got mac and cheese and fish sticks.
Oh.
And peas and corn.
Yeah. You know what? Sometimes that's just as good as it can possibly be.
It's good, but it's got me a little fastidious.
Little fastidious.
I'm penultimately fastidious in my epiglottal region.
Are you feeling kind of peckish still?
I have started a regimen of fiber. I think we talked about that before.
We did.
And probiotics.
Are you actually doing the fiber?
I've been on the fiber for a good 2 weeks now, and I've been on the probiotics for about 3 weeks. Okay. I am replete with good bacteria within my gut region.
Well, that's awesome.
Because I saw a cartoon.
I could not possibly be happier for you.
That described the need for good gut bacteria, and it very clearly showed smiling, happy bacteria grabbing. It looked like jewels. I'm assuming it's meant to represent nutrients, and passing them through the colon region and on up into the rest of your body,
right.
And then taking the bad things and sending that down the other direction. So and then every once in a while, a bad bacteria would come in, and they would all look at it, the good bacteria, and they would gang up on it, beat the ever-loving piss out of it, and then they've gone about their day. So that's been happening in my system.
So this is more like an update on your digestive and your excretory system.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I would not have bought this stuff, but it very clearly showed and stated that if you don't buy this and ingest it,
you'll die.
You won't get those nutrients.
You don't want to die.
Not yet.
No.
I mean, at some point.
At
some point I'll be.
I think when we do episode 1000, I'll be like, "Hi, I'm Darin." You're gonna be like, "Kill me." Do you think we'll be doing episode 1000?
I'm looking forward to episode 1000.
I think we will. I have a feeling that we will.
Let's see here.
Well, today is June 3rd. So I'm calling it right now. Mike and I will do an episode 1000 of Irritable Dad Syndrome.
That'll be 15 years from now.
And ask yourself, will you be here with us? Will you?
I'll be 65. Yeah, that'll be my retirement episode.
I'll be 70.
That's going to be a humdinger.
Oh, yeah.
That is going to be the I'm going to make you laugh so hard your teeth are going to fly out across the room. I'll myself. Because I'll be 15 years on the fiber at that point. Well, I'll be flowing like the river.
Doing the best of volume 40.
Oh, my Lord.
Remember this episode from 2003?
I'm Dave Lee. You ever heard of Whoppers? By then, Whoppers may actually be a real company.
And let's hope it is.
Yeah.
I hope so. Hey, speaking of real companies, we mentioned a couple weeks ago that we are ready to go on Conan O'Brien's podcast, Conan Needs a Friend. We're ready. We're packed. I mean, we've got our stuff. We want so much to go on Irritable Dad Syndrome, the tour of Irritable Dad Syndrome, and we want our first stop. And hell, it can be our only stop.
It could be, yeah.
But we want to go on Conan O'Brien Needs a Friend. I think you and I would get along great with Conan and Sona.
I have a feeling that I would be starstruck and not say a damn word.
Oh, well, that's what I'm hoping for.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that you just go,
But if they have coffee,
yeah.
I'll be there a slurping and a burping.
No, you won't. You see, that would be the problem. If we went on Conan's show, I wouldn't be nervous about meeting Conan. I've met Conan O'Brien. He doesn't remember meeting me, but I have met Conan O'Brien. But yeah, I would be worried about what you said. And here's the thing. Normally, I wouldn't be worried. But whenever we go on one of these things, like remember when we went on Chris and Janine's morning show at Christmas time, their last show? Mike's like, Darin is scared to death of what I'm going to say. And I'm like, I'm not.
You were,
clearly. I wasn't. But one of the rules of improv.
You should have been.
That's true. But one of the rules of improv is when you go off on one of your things, I agree, and then I add to that. It's called yes and. So I would say, that's right, Mike, you son of a... So anyway,
that's
Conan,
an example of me being handled at that moment.
That's right.
Darin likes to handle me.
That's what she said.
You need to cut that one out. But
anyway,
family friendly.
Conan O'Brien, Team Coco, let's get back together. You don't remember me, but when I was at your show, I was actually on your show. Jay Thomas was the guest, and he was talking about Mr. Holland's Opus, and then he said that his only other real successful movie that anybody knew about was Chud, and then my buddy Don and I started hee-hawing about Chud. The cameras turned around, and Conan said, these look like... Or Jay Thomas said we look like we smoked pot, and Conan was concerned that the whole show was going to turn into a forum for these two guys. So here's Jay Thomas saying these guys look like stoners, and Conan is being as respectful as he can. It's like, this whole show is going to turn into a forum for these guys. So let's relive that moment, Conan, and let Mikey and I come on Conan Needs a Friend.
You're listening to Irritable Dad Syndrome, Cincinnati's comedy podcast.
All right, stop what you're doing, because I'm about to ruin the image and the style that you're used to.
So let me throw this out.
All right.
Clearly, Norm Macdonald is my favorite guest on any show.
Yeah.
So let's put him off to the side. But other than Norm
why did you bring him
Macdonald-
up if we're putting him off to the side?
Because I want to, because of what I'm about to say. Yeah, I have a point.
Okay.
My favorite guest beside him is Timothy Oliphant. Have you seen him on there?
Oh, he's great.
Oh, my Lord. Because I didn't know he was hilarious.
I didn't either.
Until I saw clips of him on there.
Yeah.
Dude could have his own show.
He totally could.
Does he have his own show?
He
has not a comedy show.
Right. He's been on several shows.
Justified and Deadwood.
The Mandalorian. He was great on Mandalorian.
I don't remember him in Mandalorian.
I don't think you watched all of Mandalorian.
Oh, I haven't
I
yet,
think you gave up on it before it got...
I ditched out of Star Wars. I got to get caught back up there.
You don't really need to. I keep saying I'm going to, because I hear that Andor Season 2 is amazeballs.
Yeah.
But I could not get into
I've
Andor
heard that
Season
as
1.
well.
And I loved Rogue One so much.
Yeah?
So you would think that I would get into Andor, but whatever. We'll see.
It gets to a point, it's like, I get it. it. The rebellion, they shot at the Empire and whatever. I get it.
Yeah.
Chill. But Stranger Things, let me throw this out here. Season 5.
That's and the final season.
Yeah, and from what I've heard, each episode is going to be movie length.
Okay.
So you need to get your stamina up for this. I ditched out in the middle, or probably the first or second episode of season 2. I haven't seen anything since then.
Are you serious?
Dead serious. So I've made a pact with Bess on Facebook, so now it's official.
I was there. I saw that.
Yeah, that I'm going to catch up. And then she hearted that.
She did.
And she doesn't heart things very often.
That is essentially a contract signed in blood.
Yeah, so I'm going to start working on that.
Yeah.
Maybe while I'm grinding my camos.
Yeah. Well, no.
What?
You can't watch Stranger Things and do something else. You need to give Stranger Things your unabided whole attention. You really do.
I think I can do it while I'm grinding.
I don't think you can walk and chew gum at the same time.
Not well.
No, I mean, you get by. You'll get a C. I'm really trying hard tonight to get through this podcast because I am nervous.
You got to be on stage.
I am very nervous. Tomorrow, I have my first comedy show, a gig, right? A stand-up comedy performance. And this is my first one in a while. I haven't done one in a long time. And
how did this come about? Did somebody ask you to do it? Did you apply? Did you win a prize?
I won a prize.
Okay. Cracker Jack's box. You pulled out the little
Exactly.
prize that said appear on this show.
I made a comment on Facebook, and I said that if you guess what I have for breakfast, I will perform in your backyard. Wait, that's how I ended up doing stand-up in your backyard.
Yeah.
And that was a pretty good show.
That was a good show.
I was proud of myself for how that show turned out. No, there is a woman, her name is Nina, and she posted something on the Cincinnati comedy page that I'm a member of, and she said that she was looking for clean comics. Okay. So I reached out to her last year, and I said, hey, I'm really interested in doing clean comedy because I am a huge fan of Brian Regan and Nate Bargatze and Stephen Wright and
Jim Gaffigan.
Jim Gaffigan. I am just a huge fan of these guys, and my mind is blown because I think it's harder to do clean comedy than to go up on stage and talk about how you got your junk caught in a mousetrap. Hi! So anyway, I reached out to her and I said, hey, I would love to do one of your clean comedy shows if you have a spot for me. And she didn't have anything at the time. And she says, but you know what? I've got more things coming up throughout the year, and I'll keep in touch with you. And I really thought that was going to be it. Because usually when somebody says, oh, yeah, I'll keep you in mind, they don't keep you in mind.
No, they forget you before they even hang up the phone at that point.
But, we were, I became Facebook friends with her, and I kept up with her and stuff. And we reconnected, and sure enough, I'm going to be doing a show with her and a couple other ladies. I'm going to be the only guy on stage, and I'm nervous, and I'm not so much nervous for going on stage. I'm fine talking in front of people. Here's why I'm nervous. It's like, okay, I want my material to go well. I hope it does. I really do. I believe in my material, and if there's stuff that doesn't go well, I have written in what I call parachutes to save me if a joke doesn't land like I hope it would. So I've got a backup plan.
You got like a choose your own adventure set up there.
Kinda, but no, I want it to go well. But the biggest thing is my stupid memory. And I've got my notes with me. I'm going to have everything, my set list planned out. And if I freeze, and I've done that before, it's like I go up on stage and I'll start talking, and then I'm like, what was I supposed to say next?
Yeah.
And I have rehearsed, and I haven't rehearsed so much to where it sounds robotic or to where it sounds memorized. But anyway, I don't want to forget anything, so I've got my and I've got friends. You and Bess are coming, Ann and Dave are coming.
And I promise not to heckle. But let me ask you this.
Yeah.
I don't know if this has ever been done. You are a student and a lover of comedy.
Okay, yes.
In that order.
Yeah.
And so you tell me if this has ever been done. Has a comic ever brought an assistant with them? Someone to help jog the memory. So you're up there, you're saying the thing. Why did the chicken cross the
road?
Well, no, not even that. Just like more professional. Just be like leaning to the microphone. Road.
Yeah.
And, yes, thank you. And then continue the set. Has that ever?
I don't think so.
Other than ventriloquists, I think they do that.
How do you like school? Closed. Yeah.
But I would offer, not this show because I need time to prepare, but I would offer to be your assistant, your comedy assistant, if you needed that. Just off in the corner. I'll wear a suit. Mm-hmm. I'll have to buy one, and then I'll wait till you're saying something, and I'll just chime in every once in a while.
I am wearing a jacket.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm wearing a nice jacket.
Yeah.
But no, I'm sure that somebody has. I know.
I have a foam raptor head if you want to wear it.
No, I don't.
You're
good.
not a prop
I'm
comic.
good, thank you. No, I don't do any props.
Okay.
So I'm excited, and I remember years and years ago when we had the HBO and Richard Lewis had a stand-up comedy special, and not only did he have his notes, but he was just like almost uncomfortably reading his notes verbatim off the page.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't remember Richard Lewis ever relying so hard on his notes.
Yeah.
And I was a little disappointed in it. But now that I'm at the age that I am, and I'm forgetting people's names and that type of thing, it's like I kind of get it.
I learned about George Carlin. I did not know this, but he rehearsed and rehearsed and rehearsed and rehearsed and rehearsed and rehearsed. Like every word had to be the right inflection, the right volume.
This came before this, that came before that. Yeah.
And if he got thrown off track, when he tore into hecklers, he was really pissed.
Oh,
he was really like you're gonna mess up this whole jam here.
Yeah.
And then you got Robin Williams, who thrived on going crazy.
Please.
Yeah, that was his whole thing.
Heckle me, yeah. I remember somebody was heckling Billy Crystal at Comic Relief.
yes. Yeah.
At Comic Relief.
Yeah.
And they're like, what's the name of the cow from City Slickers?
Murray.
Norman. How's Norman? I'm like,
okay.
Really?
Yeah. Do you really want to know?
He's trying to raise money for the homeless.
Yeah.
And you're trying to be funny to Billy. It's like, and knock on Formica, I've never been heckled.
Yeah.
I have never had a heckler, and I don't think tomorrow is going to be a show that's going to have hecklers. People ask me, what do you do if you get a heckler? And I don't know.
Well, we'll find
idea.
out tomorrow because I'm going to heckle the
No, you're not. You are not. So, but yeah, I've never had a heckler, so I don't know what to do in the event with them. I mean, I think I can probably work my way out of it. I've got a smart mouth. I'm sarcastic as hell. I have grew up with an older brother, and so I learned how to make a comeback thanks to him.
Yeah.
So
the problem with being good with hecklers is that could turn into your whole. There are comics that's their whole thing.
Oh, they pray for it.
We're going to see one in July. Steve Hofstetter. Have you heard of him?
I think so.
You'll come on YouTube. There's like tons and tons of heckling videos, and he's made them himself.
Right.
To the point where I've been following him for 10 years at this point, which seems that is a long time.
Yeah.
But his most popular videos are the heckling videos, and people know that. So he's gotten so comfortable with it, he'll be in the middle of somebody heckling. He'll be like, oh, yeah, this is going to be a video. Make sure you get this.
But no, every time I would go and do stand-up up in Dayton at Wiley's, and I loved doing stand-up at Wiley's, and it's not a club anymore. They closed, and every time, I only did shows there. I think I did 4 shows at Wiley's, and every time the crowd was good, they enjoyed me. I felt like I did well, but their policy is you will not heckle, and if you do heckle, you will be asked to leave the building.
Yeah.
So, and I am all for that because I didn't come to hear a heckler. I came to see the person on the marquee.
One of my favorite comedy stories is when we went to see you at the Funny Bone, and you were telling me that there were rules when you went in. Don't say the F-bomb, don't say this, keep it kind of clean. And like the first guy comes out, he's like, it goes full blue, like hardcore. And there was another guy that came out. I don't think he said anything but the F-bomb.
No. And
and then you come up and you're like, so I
bought a vacuum cleaner.
I found some soap yesterday. Yeah.
I mean, I was trying so hard. And Jeff Foxworthy has talked about how a clean comic can do really well in a room full of dirty comics. And that hasn't happened to me yet. It has not. Because usually on the nights that I have just bombed, it was a night where, listen, it was on me. I'm not blaming the crowd. I hate when someone says, oh, it was a horrible crowd. I'm not blaming the crowd. I'm not blaming the other comics. I'm blaming me because I did not possess the ability to win these people over. And that's on me. Yeah. So, the nights I've bombed were all on me.
in your defense, it's
like
and somebody
have I bombed.
Somebody going blue in a room full of clean comics, it's like a fart. I mean, you're like, oh, come on. But you can't not laugh at a fart.
Right. But no, that particular night, the host, the MC, called everybody backstage, and he says, okay, this is the deal. Everybody gets 5 minutes. And please, he said, no F-bombs. And the guy says, I can't say that.
That's what that means.
He goes, well, what the am I supposed to say?
Yeah.
Seriously, he was like,
but he was serious.
He was taken out at the knees. He had no clue what he was going to do if he couldn't say the F word.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And so I think about Bill Burr. Now, Bill Burr he can work really dirty. But Bill Burr,
he can also clean it up.
He can take out the words and he still has an act. He still has a routine.
Yeah.
You know, the muffins, talking about going and pounding the muffins.
Yeah.
You know, he can say I'm out there pounding these effing muffins, or he can just say I'm out there pounding these muffins.
Yeah.
He can put the word in or he can take it out, but he still has a routine.
Yeah, one of my favorite I love Bill Burr. He's one of my favorite comedians of all time.
Bill Burr's awesome.
And one of my favorite lines is not dirty at all.
Is that pesto? Is that pesto in your omelet? Oh, it's asparagus. It's asparagus. I thought it was pesto.
There's nothing dirty about that.
No.
But it takes me out every time I hear it.
Yeah.
I'm done.
Yeah, I know. So anyway, I've got a show tomorrow. We will talk about it next week on Irritable Dad Syndrome. Again, I hope it goes well. I think it will. I really think it will.
Yeah, you'll be fine.
I don't know the other performers. I know one person on the bill is 10 years old.
Okay. I'll heckle her.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go play with your Duplos or whatever whatever.
Why don't you go home and watch Sesame Street?
Yeah.
That'll be fun.
Yeah.
Make her cry.
Yes.
I go on right after her.
Real,
so I have to follow I'm following a 10-year-old.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, so what's the order of people? Are you the third or are you
It will Nina is hosting the show, so she comes out and introduces and says hi to everybody. Then she brings on Regina. And Regina is going to do like 5 to 7 minutes. And then Luna is the 10-year-old, and I think she's singing songs. Luna's going to come out and sing a couple of songs.
Yeah.
And then I come out, and here's the thing. I get 15 to 20 minutes. So this is the most stand-up I've done.
You're going to come out and say, hickory dickory dock.
No. No, I'm not.
If you want to knock me out laughing, that's what you do.
No, it's not going to happen. It's like, and my mom is coming. Mom hasn't been there. And that's why I signed up for this gig, for this clean show, because the last 3 or 4 times that I have done stand-up, it was usually in a room full of really, really blue comics. And, I didn't feel comfortable with my mom sitting there with a room of really, really, really blue comics. And it's like, you don't mind the language so much as the contents, the topics. Oh my God, there's things that they've talked about that I can't even repeat.
This portion of our show is brought to you by Whoppers All-Beef Footlong Hot Dogs. Hi, I'm Dave Lay. And you know what? The other day, some guy asked me, "Hey Dave, how come I never see Whoppers all-beef footlong hot dogs in the store?" And I told him he clearly wasn't looking hard enough. Whoppers are made from 100% whole beef, have no fillers or preservatives. They're perfect for parties or a midday snack while folding laundry. Get a ruler and measure it yourself. If your hot dog isn't a foot long, they'll refund your money, guaranteed. Whoppers, America's favorite all-beef footlong hot dog. Now back to you guys in the studio.
The other day, I was in my driveway, and the phone rings. I answer, and it's this woman, Mike, and she says, "Hi, I was just calling to see if you knew how old your roof is."
Well, we just had a birthday for it last week.
And I said, "I'm not exactly sure." And she says, "Well, let me ask you, is it more than 7 years old?" And I said, "Yeah, it's more than 7 years old. We've lived here for 7 years, but I can't remember how old our roof is." I'm sorry, who is this? Oh, I'm sorry, this is Hannah from blank blank roofing company.
Yeah.
We're going to be in your neighborhood for the next week, and we are doing absolutely free roof inspections.
Oh, yeah.
And if you would like a roof inspection, we can come by, check out everything. Again, there's no obligation, and we can let you know if you have anything that needs
They'll
service.
find out you need a new roof.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what they're going to do.
Exactly. And I said, well, I'm actually outside now, and I'm looking, and every time I'm outside, I check to see if we have any tiles missing, and I haven't noticed anything else, so I think we're good. And that's when she says, "Hi, this is Hannah with blank blank roofing. We're going to be in your neighborhood for the following week doing free roof inspections." And I realized I'm talking to a robot.
Oh my gosh.
I was fooled because I really did not think I was talking to this robot. And so I said, "Who is this again?" "This is Hannah with blank blank roofing, and we're going to have a truck in your neighborhood." And I said, "Oh, a truck? Is it going to have ice cream?" And Hannah says, "I don't see how that's relevant." And I said, "Oh, I think it's very relevant because it's getting warmer and I'm craving ice cream." The robot laughed at me.
Okay.
"Well, let's talk more about getting you booked for an inspection." And I said, "I'd like to know why you think it's funny that you're laughing at me. You're really going to laugh at me right now? You called me, and now you're mocking me?"
Okay. Yeah.
"Is this how you talk to all your customers?" And then she says, "I'm sorry if I've offended you." "Oh, you've offended me, Hannah. You have offended me to my very core," right? And it finally hung up on me. But I was like, that was awesome. So I wonder who It's because you remember what was there was a website. Oh crap! I can't remember the name of the website, but they had all these phone banks where you could do prank calls with this phone bank. Like you could do from Carl from Sling Blade. You can call Walmart. Hello, this is Walmart. I want to be baptized. You got any biscuits for sale in there? And that type of thing. And you can just push all these things. So I wonder if somebody was pushing Hannah's buttons and getting her to do these responses, they had to have been. And my thing is, like, if you can do that, then why not just make the damn phone call?
Please stand by. We're experiencing technical difficulties. Thank you.
I gotta go check on the meatballs.
And I said, no, bitch, that's what I'm talking about.
And I'm like, if you try to put that in there one more time,
I mean, it's ridiculous.
I'm going to beat you to death with this tire iron.
Can I say something?
Yeah.
We have more viewers than we've ever had.
I know.
We keep going like dead silent, not saying anything.
And they're just...
And we start talking, people like drop, I'm done with these people.
They're enthralled. They can't wait to see if we do something.
Oh, my Lord.
Yeah.
So this past week, I get my story out before I get hornswoggled again.
Yeah.
This past week,
I hate getting hornswoggled.
I saw the AC/DCs. Have you heard of them? The AC/DCs?
I have heard of them. I've seen them twice back in the 90s. Yeah.
So that's when I wish I would have seen them. They've been on my bucket list forever and a day.
Yeah.
Well, they came to the land of the Cleves, Cleveland.
Home of the Cleveland Steamers.
And they were playing at the stadium whose name I don't care about looking up, but it's right next to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Yes.
So when we were planning this trip, I went with Fancher and Coburn, Dave went in replacement for somebody else that was unable to go. Our friend Kevin. Kevin couldn't go, so Dave suck in. Not Dave Lay, a different Dave.
Oh, okay.
So Fancher, it was getting closer and closer to the event, and he was like, we got to make plans. We got to figure this out. Unbeknownst to us at the time, he had the wrong phone number for Coburn in there. So really, I was the only person that he was talking to.
That sounds like Jim.
Finally, a few days before, I said, "Here's what we're going to do. We're going to go to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame at this time.
Yeah.
We're all going to meet at the hotel.
Yeah.
We're going to Uber over to the
Yeah.
Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Spend however much time we want to spend there.
Okay.
And then we'll go to the actual stadium when
Yeah.
we feel like it.
Okay.
There's going to be food trucks. There's going to be parties. All kinds of stuff going down.
Did you have seats or were you general admission?
Seats.
Okay.
So it didn't
So you
matter.
can get in there
It did.
anytime you want.
Who cares?
You can stroll in 8
cares.
seconds before it starts.
Exactly. So
Whom cares is right.
I set the stage. This is what we're doing, and then I didn't go to the Hall of Fame. I didn't get there until like maybe a couple hours before ACDC went on.
Oh, man.
Life got in the way.
Yeah.
And it got down to the point where I was going to have to set an alarm, get like 5 or 6 hours of sleep, and then drive to Cleveland. I'm like, I'm not trying to make ACDC a job. I want to go enjoy myself.
I hear you.
So
well,
I got my,
as I say, if you hadn't have already been, how many times have you been to the Hall of Fame?
It
Twice?
was like 3 or 4 times.
Oh, I didn't know you'd been that many times.
I just went like with you like
2
a couple
years
years
ago,
ago
yeah.
when we went to see Gojira.
Yeah, Gojira.
At the Agora
Mike
Theater.
and Dave Gojira.
Yeah, and so anyway, I was fine
Gojira
with
brothers.
not making it there. I met them at a brewery just down the street, just a ways askance from the stadium.
There's a lot of cool little breweries in Cleveland.
And then we went to the stadium. Now, you know me.
I do.
We're going to get a shirt, a T-shirt, an AC/DC shirt.
Yep.
And I had already taken a look. Me and Fancher had already taken a look at all the different designs. I
like
didn't-
the one you're wearing.
Yeah, thank you. This is the one I chose.
Yeah.
Hence I'm wearing
That's
it.
why you
classic.
have it.
It's black, back in black.
Shut
It's
up,
got
yeah,
Brian. It's got Angus. I mean, the way they're photographed here, it doesn't look like they're in their 70s, which they are.
No, that picture was from 40 years ago.
I got lucky. This shirt, which I'd already decided I was going to get, was in the outside merch tent.
Okay.
So I popped this puppy in my hoodie, and I'm good to roll.
Was that cheaper than the shirts inside the venue?
It's the same price.
Oh, okay.
But you didn't have to stand in, the lines weren't that long outside.
Yeah.
Just like 1 or 2 people in line outside. And then we go into the show. I enjoyed it immensely.
Okay.
I was singing. I was dancing.
Were you hugging people?
I did hug. I did hug Fancher a couple times.
I'll tell you
I
guys
hugged
this.
Coburn. I
When
get huggy.
Mike gets a few beers in him, he gets really huggy.
I was really huggy.
The last concert I saw, the last birthday party of yours I went to, you molested me. You hugged me so many times. It got uncomfortable.
The people in my friend group that get it the worst is Box. Box gets it the worst.
Yes.
I'm surprised he doesn't have a restraining order on me yet, because Box is just so fun to just grab and just hug him.
Yeah.
He's a very huggable person.
He is.
He is very huggable.
I hugged him.
Everybody wants to hug Box.
Got to hug Box.
Anyway, we go through the whole show. Sounded great. Angus, dude, is 70 years old.
Yeah.
Still doing that.
Thing.
I had to look up what it's called. It's called the duck walk.
Is it
that
the duck
thing
walk?
Where the
Okay.
one, you know what I'm talking about.
I do.
It's basically the rock.
Like Chuck Berry.
Yeah, that thing.
Yeah.
And
he does it pretty much the whole show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He wouldn't stop. And he
Lord.
has that thing he does. He's like, and I thought that was age.
Right.
I'm sorry, but it. I just thought he was having an old man episode,
moment, yeah.
But I watched an old video of AC/DC, like back in the Bon Scott days. Dude was doing it then.
Yeah.
The same face,
Yeah.
the same "where am I" look in his eye. So he's been rocking that for 40 years, 50 years.
Here's something that I really like about Angus Young. One, I've always liked AC/DC. Okay.
Yeah.
I think the first time I caught wind of these guys was You Shook Me All Night Long.
Yeah.
And come on.
Back in Black.
Okay, yes. Back in Black was the first thing I heard from them. And then I dipped back and heard some of their other stuff. And I was a fan of that too. But what I like about Angus is that he just let his hair go completely snow white.
Yeah.
And because
whatever.
Okay, I've told you I love Billy Idol. Steve Stevens, dude, his hair is so jet black. I'm like, dude, you're not fooling anybody.
Yeah.
And the Metallicas did that, and so did the Bon Jovis. They just let their hair go completely silver.
Yeah.
Bon Jovi looks freaking
He looks
awesome.
like a badass.
With his silver hair.
And
yes.
the Rollins, Ed Roland, Collective Soul.
Yes. Yeah.
And the show made me feel a little bit self-conscious.
Okay.
Because I started getting tired of dancing around.
Right.
And then I'm like, oh my God, this dude is in his 70s up there. Moving around a whole lot more than I am.
Killing it.
And he doesn't look like he wants to stop.
No.
He actually looked like, I bet backstage they had him running around in circles. He was not stopping.
Well, it's kind of like Mick Jagger of the Stones. I mean,
Yeah.
he comes out there and makes me look like, dude.
When Bess and I
Jagger's just going insane on stage.
When Bess and I saw the Rolling Stones in 2015 in Columbus, they took what's his name, Keith Richards, and just leaned him up against
the post.
Leaned him up against the post. Meanwhile,
Plugged his guitar in.
Mick Jagger's out there doing everything but the moonwalk, and I think he may have done the moonwalk a couple times.
Yeah.
I just didn't recognize it. But yeah, the show was amazing. But I want to talk about the concession.
Hold on. Do you know the comedian Leanne Morgan?
No.
She's the blonde, and she's got the really, really, really thick Southern accent.
No.
She is one of the funniest comedians out right now. She's talking about going to see Journey and Def Leppard, and she was talking about how the lead singer Journey was so cute with that thin little hair of his. And anyway, so they were good, and then Def Leppard comes on, and they did, and I quote, put some sugar on it. She says, my husband stood up and threw his hand in the air for like 10 seconds, and then he sat back down because his hips were hurting.
Yeah.
And then when it was over with, everyone was walking out of the show slow like turtles because we all have plantar fasciitis.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, oh my God, she's right. Because when I go to concerts, oh my God, it was like the death of me when we went to see the U2s in Louisville because we stood almost 10 hours.
Yeah.
And last year when I saw Sammy Hagar, me and my buddy Dan went, and that's the same thing. I stood on the lawn for like 3 or 4 hours to see Sammy. And I mean, by the end of it, I'm like, my God, my feet are just cursing my name.
Yeah.
And it used to be, I would sit in the show, I'm like, no, I ain't leaving until the lights come on. And there are some concerts, no matter how much I'm loving it, I'm like, how many more songs?
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, I love you guys, and I'm so thrilled to come. We went to see Hootie and the Blowfish. They must have played 45 songs. Like, how many more songs?
Yeah. They were just playing other people's songs. They were just playing whatever.
They did. They played like 10 covers.
But yeah, AC/DC
concessions. But Mike Odell, everybody.
Hi. this was a concert, and I know exactly what you're saying. Sometimes there's concerts, you love it, you're having a great time, you're excited, but you have to look down your phone. How many more songs?
I gotta go to work tomorrow.
I gotta do something. It was not like that at all. Like I was when they were getting to. For Those About to Rock was their final song. I was like, I was actually sad.
Did the cannons come out?
I didn't see cannons. It wasn't that loud, but they did do it had a, you know, and they were shooting off fireworks.
They may have just done fireworks.
Oh, somebody's running water.
Did you have a stroke?
Smell toast.
What the hell was that?
Hey, I'm 50. Anything could happen at this point. I'm in my, as Bill Burr calls them, drop dead years.
Yes.
So the concessions.
Okay.
I go out there, and Mikey wants drinky, and I wanted a hot dog because I was hungry. I hadn't eaten anything.
$7 hot dog?
Yeah. And
was it?
I don't know what it was.
Okay. You just put it on the card.
They had these mats that were about yay big. I'd say 18 inches by 18 inches square, and they were plastic, and they were a little bit wavy.
Okay.
And then there was a monitor right next to it, and a light was coming down on the mat. And there was a person, there were 5 or 6 of those in a line. The beer was in coolers. Okay. So you take out what you want. The hot dogs are just sitting there like you're at a gas station.
Okay.
And I go
Were they rolling on the thing?
No. Just there.
Already in bags.
And then
pre-bagged
I go up
hot
to
dogs.
it, and the lady who was standing there, her job, she had 2 jobs. One was to say, no, put it on the mat.
Okay.
Put everything on the mat and get your hands out of the way. And then her other was to open whatever beer you had on there. But you literally put them on the mat, and then this grid of light went around it. It sensed what was there. It didn't matter what position you put it in.
Beam your food into
it was
you?
like it was AI gone wild. And then it told me what it saw, and it didn't ask me if that was right. It just said, this is what's on the mat, and this is what you owe.
Yes, science!
And it was right. And I was like, how the hell did it... It didn't scan a barcode. It just looked at it.
I hate
and
this.
And the hot dog...
I hate this.
The hot dog had no discernible features. That's the title of the show, isn't it? There was nothing about the hot dog. There was no logo. There was no barcode.
No QR.
No gang affiliation. Nothing. Nothing on the hot dog.
No black font hot dog.
No, nothing.
No discernible features.
No discernible features. And it just knew that there was a hot dog there.
It just knew.
It knew it wasn't a hoagie.
Oh.
It knew it wasn't a open-faced roast beef sandwich. It just, I mean, I assumed
Did they
told it.
open-faced roast beef?
No. They had only hot dogs. So
Well,
I assume.
then, okay.
I assume that
if
they told
they
it.
have only hot dogs.
But then I look back at the coolers. Now I'm talking, Darin, there were 10 to 15 coolers.
Okay, that's a lot of coolers.
Every non-alcoholic drink you can think of, cans of Coke, cans of Diet Coke, cans of Sprite, Diet Sprite, root beer,
Coke Zero,
Gatorade, Blue, the different colors of
Blue
Gatorade,
Thunder, okay.
The different beers, all of them. A lot of the beers had the same size and shape and everything. And this mother scratcher, this electronic demon.
Did they have Snapple?
They did have Snapple.
Okay.
How could they not?
Okay.
This is the 2025s.
Okay, yeah.
And it just knew what you had. And there's some millennial out there right now saying, well, duh, I just scanned it, just looked at it. Look, we grew up when computers, you people, like
Guns.
we would walk into doors that were supposed to open because it sensed a human walking, and we go, because it didn't open.
That's right.
And we would just say, okay, well, that's just, I didn't expect it to. If you see a Gen Xer or a boomer walking up to an automatic door, I don't care. They're going to hesitate because we think it's just not going to open because we've seen janky technology and we've seen the Terminator movies. We know at some point this is going to turn on you.
Right.
So don't come at me
we saw
with...
Chopping Mall.
Yeah.
And we know that this technology is going to turn on us and kill us.
Yeah, or run away with Tom Selleck and Gene Simmons.
Or it's going to try to sleep with your wife.
So this was just a white pad, place your here, and it says this is what you bought. give me your money. The lady will open your beer. Enjoy the show. I was amazed.
Somebody opens your beer for you?
Yeah, they have a thing where you can't take a sealed beer. So now I was literally double fisting it with a hot dog.
Is that like a Hootie and the Blowfish thing? Because Darius Rucker wouldn't allow bottle caps?
I think that's a beer at the venue. I've never sporting everywhere I've always been. They open it for you.
Okay.
They can't have you walking around with a unopened beer.
Okay, I'm not a fan. Are you a fan of this? Because I'm not a fan of it.
I'm not a fan of it because I wasn't expecting to drink both of them right then and there. I wanted to enjoy one later. I wanted to have one at Highway to Hell.
No, I mean, are you a fan of going in and I don't like ordering on the kiosk. I just
I like that. I don't want to talk to anybody.
I don't. You do like that.
I do like it.
Because I don't like that.
The best
Here's the thing. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't like that because whenever there's a kiosk and you're ordering stuff on the kiosk, there's still human beings. You know what humans are, right?
Yeah.
People.
Persons.
Places
or things. These are persons.
There are people back there.
Right there.
Who still, they're right there.
Well, I went to the McDonald's on the way back in, and there was a person standing 10 feet away from me while I'm ordering on the kiosk.
Yes. Because on my way back from Indianapolis, I hadn't had Taco Bell in forever, and I was jonesing for it, and I went in. There's one person in the Taco Bell, okay? This lady, this woman, this female, she is there. Okay? She's there. There's no other
She's
customers.
There. She's present.
There are no other customers in the store. There are no customers pulling in through the drive-thru. I'm the only one there. It's me and Rhonda, or whatever her name is. And yet she would not walk over and take my order. It's a kiosk order only. And I'm the only customer there. And I left. Yeah. I left.
Okay.
I got my ass in my car and I drove over to the McDonald's where there were people who, and God, do I sound old. I sound so old, but I went to a place where there was a person who would take my order.
No, where were we? Oh, yeah.
And when you go to the University of Cincinnati, when you go to their football games, if you go to the Chick-fil-A there, you have to order on the kiosk.
I love that.
But there's a person who hands you the food.
Okay. I don't like that.
So if there's a person behind the counter, why doesn't that person... How hard is it to take... I don't understand how this is making life easier. How is it making life easier?
Because you don't have to talk to anybody.
But I like talking to people. If I didn't like talking to people, I wouldn't be sitting here with your
and
I wouldn't be doing stand-up comedy tomorrow.
So the guy at the Dunkin' Donuts down the street here knows me.
Yeah.
Because I ordered the same thing every morning. He knows me. And he told me, you could order on the app. And he said, and I quote, "We've got a lady who barrels through here and doesn't even stop until she gets to this window. And I just hand her out her drink because she gets the same thing every morning."
Yeah.
And he said that in such a way that I knew that he knew that I knew that he was saying... Hey,
he knew
that I knew that he knew that I knew that I get the same thing every morning, and that this lady that he was talking about, this woman, this broad comes through and gets this, that, hey, you also can get this. So I signed up for the app. And when I wake up, when I'm all bleary-eyed in the morning, I touch the Dunkin' Donuts on the phone, and then I order. You go recent. I just tap because what I get is an extra. I get an extra large coffee with 2 creams, 2 sugars, and an espresso shot.
Okay.
See how much time I wasted saying that?
An espresso shot.
And then sometimes you're like, you got the lady that's like, "Well, you got an espresso what?" And then you have the manager who knows me, who comes over and says, "I got it. Come around." And it makes it awkward.
Vinny.
So now, get over here. So now
I got your coffee right here.
I just tap it and I love it because I just barrel through everything. And they've got a system. You go the right car and then the left car. The right car and the left car.
Do you still order the
I'm
bottle
talking,
of water with your order?
No. I've given that up. I've given up water. Right car, left car, right car, left car.
God.
And I just shoot past, and I love the look the people give me. Like, you can't do that. What are you doing? I'm VIP, scratcher.
Screw all
I'm
y'all.
getting my drink now. And I pull up, and I got my hand out. Bro's right there, hands it out to me. "Have a wonderful day, sir." It's like, I will.
Yep.
Go on. but I digress. Okay. Anyway, the AC/DC concert was amazing.
Good.
We ended up eating at a gas station after, which was a terrible mistake.
Oh. Did you get an egg salad sandwich?
I got a wrap, and then I also polished that off with some Doritos. I got some kind of candy at some point. I don't know what happened. I got 2 donuts. It went bad.
Wow.
Went really bad. And then drove home the next day, and then that's when I stopped at said McDonald's, ordering from a kiosk, while the lady, the female, the woman.
See, now you're stealing my act.
The broad was standing right over there. And I just ordered right from the kiosk and went over. I didn't have to talk to her at all.
Yeah.
Just order 659. I still remember my number. I was order 659. Yeah. And I took it.
Glad you remember something.
Boom. Friday night, Bess and I went to go see Jonathan Stewart.
Jon Stewart.
Famous for The Daily Show. Half Baked, and then something else.
He's got like 35 Emmy Awards.
Yeah.
Or some ridiculous
and we
amount
were
of
excited,
Emmy
and I sent Bess the instructions, which talk about the cell phone pouch. It was a cell phone-less thing, so they have a pouch that you put it in. It was called a hammer jammer. I forget what it was called, but you put it in there, and it has some kind of magnetic lock. If they see you futzing around with your phone, they kick you out. They're like,
put it in the hammer jammer.
They're being all like Maynard and Tool. I've been there. I've done this. So I put it in the slip slide, and we go in there, and it was an amazing show. We told you about it a little bit before we came down. I talked a lot about getting old. There was some political stuff. The second half was like what you would expect from the Daily Show.
Yeah.
But the thing that stuck out to me was the crowd work. He did really good crowd work.
Yeah,
Was able to roll with whatever was being said at any given moment. There were a couple of people that yelled things out. He had a nice, gracious way of putting the hecklers out of their misery quickly, as you would expect.
Well, he's from New Jersey, so...
Yeah, I mean, he may just come down there and just pummel somebody.
Maybe.
Going back to before we went to the show, we went to the Moorlines, the Lager House.
Moorline House, yeah.
One of my favorite places
That's
in Cincinnati.
a great restaurant here. If you're ever in Cincinnati,
go to the
Moorline House.
The last time that Elizabeth and I went to a show in the downtowns areas, they took forever, and then more time on top of that, to where we barely got to the show on time.
Right.
So I booked this way in advance. The show's at 7:30. We got reservations. I think it was for like 6 or something. Long enough.
That's still cutting it short.
Pretty good. So
I think
we get in there, and it's like they were running stuff out to us. Like we were done eating within a half hour. It was like amazing.
Wow.
So we leisurely walk through Cincinnati. We're doing what any couple would do on our date night. Reasonable couple. We're talking about our hopes, our dreams, our aspirations. How wonderful the food was.
What excites you?
What the weather is here.
Oh, yeah. Finally.
They actually had
spring.
AI getting your beer. Yeah, they actually got AI for the beer at AC/DC, blah, blah, blah. We get up to it, and then this guy runs out of the Taft Theater. Out of nowhere. He has a blue Taft Theater shirt. And he looks at Bess's purse, and he's like, that's not going to be able to make it in there. And she said, and I quote, huh? And he said, it's got to be a clear bag or smaller than that. And then Bess, without missing a beat, said, well, I'm not walking back. And then we had one of those weird moments where everyone looks at me. I don't know why he looked at me along with Bess.
Because you're the man.
But it became clear that I'm the person that needs to run this back to the parking lot under Moorlines. Now, those of you who are not familiar with the Cincinnati layout, the Taft Theater is about half a mile from Moorlines.
Yes.
And we're getting in there about a half hour before Jon Stewart is supposed to, the opener is supposed to walk on stage.
Okay.
I began running back.
Okay.
Went all the way back. Now I'm sweaty and nasty. I get the purse back there, put it in the car, run all the way back. Just in time we get there, we buy our drinks, we sit down, and now where I was supposed to be leisurely awaiting the opener to come out, I'm like, people are looking at me like they think I'm going to have a medical emergency. Other than that, it was a wonderful show. But seriously, purses...
Yeah.
Are we really expecting a terrorist attack on Jonathan Stewart?
I know.
With a purse?
Well, it's that old analogy: the one bad apple spoils the whole bunch, right? We have to now. We have to take it seriously because there's too many things.
Well,
and I don't want this podcast to go this direction.
No.
But there's too many bad things like that happen, and unfortunately, we have to take that seriously now.
Well, here's the direction I will take it, is because from the moment that I returned, I started looking at everybody's bag.
Yeah.
And I saw at least 2 purses of similar size to Bess's. And they weren't saying in a diddly to these ladies. One of them was slung around their back and across the middle like Chewbacca. And it had a bag hanging.
Dividing the
goods.
goods.
Yeah. It was betwixt. Yeah. And I told Bess, I was like, well, that purse is bigger than yours. And Bess said, nah, it's a little bit smaller. Yeah. And I'm like, whose side are you on?
I thought we were married.
I thought we were,
well, Libby and I went to UC to watch a marching band tournament. No, we went to UC to watch a game, and Jacob was marching in marching band. And Libby has a clear backpack that she bought a couple of years ago to take to said events like this. And we get up to the thing, and this guy has the nerve to tell me that I can't bring my granola bars in there. So what do? I walk over to where the trash can is. I open the clear backpack, and I stuff the granola bars in my pockets. And then I walk up, and it's like, and I did it very inconspicuously when no one was looking. Put them in my pockets. Yeah. Walk up, I'm like, okay, you happy? I didn't say that. I wanted to. Though. Okay, I threw away my $2 granola bar. Because God forbid you go in there and it's like, whatever. But I digress.
That reminds me of a meme I saw today that it made me laugh out loud. It basically said, keep this up, and I'm going to open a Nature Valley granola bar in your bed.
It's crumbs everywhere. Yeah.
You're listening to Irritable Dad Syndrome, part of this nutritious breakfast.
How can you trust an animal with a head that's that bald and tiny?
I mean, we trust Dad.
That's true.
I mentioned at the beginning of the podcast that my son Jacob had a, quote, gig, unquote. So he tells me, he says, Dad, his band is Dream Flood. They're a trio. It's him on drums. There's Dan on guitar and lead vocal. And then there's Mo, who plays bass. And he occasionally sings background. And he occasionally sings lead vocal. So he says, we've got this gig. And I said, oh, really? Where is the gig, unquote? And he says, well, it's kind of in, how do I say it? It's in this room. I'm like, oh, it's in a room. Oh, so it's indoors. He says, yes. It's, there's a building downtown that's kind of, I think he said it's kind of abandoned. Kind of abandoned.
The story's getting better.
It's getting better and better.
This is the beginning of a horror movie.
He was nervous about having me come because not only is there no seats, there's nothing inside this building. And I don't know who owns the building, who runs the place, but he had some people come, and I think there were 2 or 3 bands. Jacob's band, Dream Flood, was one of them. There was a rapper and a couple other things. And basically just in this abandoned old warehouse.
Does it have power?
There was power.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So somebody's paying a bill somewhere.
Yes, there was electricity. Yeah. I don't know where they plugged their stuff up. I think Jacob said he had to run a power cord down 2 flights of stairs.
Yeah.
So I get there and I'm instantly, concerned. I said, I don't know that my son should be here, right?
Yeah.
Because there's some broken windows, and there's clearly some construction going on, and there's like boards and hammers laying around. And I'm walking down this
random hobo.
I was like, am I going to find someone who's like, I don't know, strung out?
Yeah.
Anyway, I get up, and I'm the only parent there. Every person there is 20 or younger. And here I am, 55 years old.
You are
almost,
now the chaperone.
And I didn't want to be the chaperone, and I definitely did not want to embarrass Jacob.
Yeah.
But I wanted to see the show. I wanted to see how they sounded. And
if I may,
against my go ahead.
You're the person where if something did go down, you would be on the news and people would be saying, "How could you let this happen?"
Yes,
that's what you were at that point.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. I didn't want to be the voice of reason, but I got there, and I got there right when the rapper was performing, and there was maybe 10 people in the room digging this rapper, and they were really enjoying him. And I talked to the guy after the show, and he was really super cool. But then, so Jacob's band goes on, and like I said, there's about 10 people in this room, a quarter of the size of the room we're in now. And I'm going to tell you right now, Dream Flood sounded amazing.
Awesome.
They sounded so good. And yes, there were 10 people there watching. I cannot make a joke about the small crowd because I have performed comedy to a crowd of 2 people before. 2 people were there watching us. And that was the night where the 2 ladies just sat there and stared at me.
We've performed this podcast to 2 people before.
Yes, we have.
You and me.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, but they were great. They sounded great. Dan was killing it on lead guitar and killing it with vocals. Mo was killing it when he was singing the songs. And Jacob's back there just going absolutely crazy on cymbals, tearing it up. And their last song, Lash Out, that's going to be their single. And when it's available on Spotify, I'm going to send you... Actually, you know what? At the end of this podcast, I'm going to play Lash Out, which is going to be their next song that they're going to put out on Spotify. They closed with Lash Out, and they tore the room apart.
That's badass.
And they went all Kiss. Jacob stood up and is just tearing it up.
Yeah.
And Mo drops down and has the bass pointed right up in the ceiling.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
They were like rock starring the hell out of it.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
It was great. And this is something that I hated because I got there and I'm trying to record this with my phone. My stupid phone runs out of storage. 2 minutes into their first song. So I'm relying on other people who were there to share videos of the event. But here's the thing. I was like, I don't want to embarrass Dream Flood being the old man who was there, but they were thrilled that I was there. They were like, dude, your dad came to the show. They were thrilled that I was there. I wore my Offspring t-shirt.
Okay.
Right? And I'm trying to look street. I'm trying to look badass. I was like, should I wear a polo and khakis and flip-flops? No, I wore my Offspring
reading
shirt.
glasses.
I was thinking, it's like if something goes down, I do need to be the voice of reason and help these kids out. But nothing went down. It was a good time, and these guys are really going to do great things. So look out for Dream Flood. And again, listen to the end of the episode, and I'm going to play their song, Lash Out. So, Way to go, guys. I'm very proud of you. And they come over almost every Saturday and practice in our basement. It's cool hearing them down there working on songs.
Yeah.
It's like, it's really wild. They come in and they try this. And of course, it doesn't sound great when they start, but it gets better and better and better and better. And for a first show, even though it's 10 people, they were great.
Awesome.
So, yeah. Did you have anything else you want to talk about?
I don't have any. Okay. I'm ready to wrap this puppy up like a Christmas present.
Exactly. We're going to go. We want you to go to Instagram, TikTok, go to our Facebook Reels. Anytime you see one of our videos, if you would like it, if you would share it, that would help us out a lot. If you go to irritabledadsyndrome.com, you can listen to any episode that we have. Oh, they're all there, all of them. For a long time, our first 24, we did like Disney did, and we put them in the vault, right? They're out of the vault. So
everything's out there hanging around in the wind.
Oh man, are these great episodes?
They actually are.
You know what? They're not. One of the reasons why we put these episodes in the vault was because when we first started this podcast, we had one microphone and we sat it in the middle of the room. Audio quality is not that great.
No.
But we still had pretty good stories.
Yeah.
And if you listen to the best of season 1, the audio quality varies. Yeah. So we had good stories. And So those are back out and available again. And if you want to, you can listen to them at irritabledadscenter.com.
Yeah, follow us on all of our stuff, the
Please.
TikToks and the whatevers, and please share it.
Yeah.
That really helps us out.
Yeah. And again, thank you so much. We thank all of our fans. We really appreciate everything that you do to help us make this podcast successful. We hope to see you next week on Irritable Dad Syndrome.
Irritable Dad Syndrome was videotaped before a live studio audience.
You're good at closing this shit out.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that was the weirdest.
You used to try to close and you're like, and we have a thing called buy a coffee. If you want to buy a coffee for somebody, you can send 5 cents or 10 cents or 15 cents or 12 cents or 20 cents.
Yeah,
I'm like, Mike, I don't know what you're talking about.
I was the equivalent of somebody in junior high saying, "My mom said we could ride in her car to get ice cream if you want to later. I don't know, or you just want to go home."
We need all the performance enhancing help we can get.
Yeah, it's
yeah.
Huggies. I like Huggies.
Mr. Huggies,
like Stump.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like Stump.
Like George Platitude or whoever that guy is.
George Platitude?
Yeah.
I love him.
Yeah.
Who the hell is George Platitude?
I don't know. Trolling David Lee Roth fans, that's your most popular. 1.2K.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that went over the then into the K's.
It went into the K's.
Dude, I'm flattered.
And you got a comment, and it's my favorite.
I remember.
Yeah, if you don't like or at least acknowledge Eat 'em and Smile, then you know
clearly
absolutely nothing
about music.
About rock music specifically.
Oh, that's right.
And I liked that comment.
I do too.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Darin.
I am Mike.
Welcome to Irritable Dad Syndrome, Cincinnati's comedy podcast. This is episode 261.
We are going to try to sound excited that we're here. We are here.
We were both here.
And excited.
And
yes. We got to redo this.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I came in the wrong energy. Let me get it. Let me.
Don't slurp.
Yeah, I can't. If I don't
yes,
slurp, I can't.
Yes, you can. Trust me.
It doesn't work if I don't slurp.
Oh, for the love of... I'm going to send you back to elementary school and teach you how to drink.
You know what the best part of that is?
What?
Is that there's at least one person that listens to the audio of the live thing and thinks I'm hitting a bong. They have no idea because they can't. They either don't have a monitor or they're blind and they can't see a coffee mug. They think old Mikey's hitting it right now.
Uh-huh.
That's Dunkin' Donuts gold.
That's bong water right there, my friend.
Oh, gnarly!
What's up, baby? 6 a.m., another sleepless night. Check my bank account, money is tight. Yeah, dead end job. Got some bills to pay. Last thing I need is someone today. It hurts to hide the bed, gonna lash out everywhere. Dirty clothes, messy hair, gonna lash out everywhere. 4 p.m., 10 minutes till break. Sick and tired of being away. Yeah, couldn't escape, even if I tried. Not going anywhere, just another fish to fry. It hurts. Wide the bed, gonna lash out everywhere. Dirty clothes, messy hair, gonna lash out everywhere. head hurts. Too hard to bear, gonna lash out. Everywhere, dirty clothes, messy hair, gonna lash out. Everywhere.
Irritable Dad Syndrome is a Mike Odell, Darin Cox production.
Recording stopped.